This may or may not be longer than 10 or 15 minutes, but I'm going to talk about how you can get yourself into any kind of business or any kind of hobby, skill, whatever it takes to be very successful. And I want you to listen closely because it's very important that you don't take anything I say for granted, because I promise you, nothing is more depressing than trying to start something on your own and you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's going to happen next. And the best motivation I can tell you is you either do two things: just effing do it, or research every single part about it to get yourself mentally and physically prepared for whatever you're going to get yourself into. Skill, hobby, or whatever it is, education. First, you're going to figure out, what does it take to be that kind of person? Especially when it comes down to, how does the school teach it? How does someone else teach it? And how are you hearing it? So you're combining what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and you're trying to figure out, what does it really take? What is it going to take me to be fully convinced that I can do any skill, I can do any kind of thing in the world? Drop shipping, you get into the store manager business, you get into any kind of thing that, yes, it may not make you happy in the very beginning, but if you keep working at whatever skill you like, that you can do every single day, you don't work a day in your life. Even in the song, Buy Dirt, it's a weird song, but my father explained it yesterday. If you love what you do and you call it work, you don't work a day in your life. That's the saying. And I find it particularly, you know, interesting, because that is something that I completely agree with. Even the game that I've been playing on YouTube Shorts, where it's like, it's not like the Bitmoji, where you choose all these decisions as you age, or bit.ly, whatever it's called. Not the website URL, but something like that. It's kind of funny, because you would think, um you know in your family, if you have all of these things in your family tree, take all the skills from your family tree and your genetics and your cultural values or your cultural nationality, from whatever country that you are a part of, or whatever what your genetics say biologically. Take those and apply it to your life, or maybe apply the dreams that your parents not did not get a chance to do, and apply that to your life. That's the only way that you're going to be able to do it. Or you could do the second option. Take all the skills that your family, from both sides, mom and dad, even if you're adopted or you have a long lost family, you can figure out, what can I do in order to be successful? And it takes a lot of effort, dedication, responsibility, emotion, physical, stress. And the only way to make it easy is not complicated, especially when it comes to just, being yourself in the situation that comes before you, when you're trying to either A, solve a problem, B, trying to get out of a situation that really hurts you, or C, a little bit of both. Where you have two polar opposites that can solve the problem, or you combine both of those polar opposites and you make it into one, or your own. And the problem is sometimes it's hard to combine those things of, how do you solve those problems? How do you make a business work for you the way it should? What variables does it take for you to control the situation that you're in? And especially in business, because you're having to do things for other people on top of the demands that you have for yourself, for self-care, self-hygiene, the way you just are able to live while still being able to, give customer service or give a service to somebody. And I'm going on as a full take. But let me warn you, it is not going to start out easy. I mean, especially, and even when you get older, adapting to new things that say this is what is going to make your business or service very successful. And some things that improve it might feel like it's a burden, or it might feel like, it's not worth it. And my guess would be, if you're going to get into something that you can do every single day for the rest of your life, not hate it, make it your whole life goal to never give up on yourself. Even a man, or as a quote was said in the Gecko movie, one of the dudes was on a golf cart driving towards this gecko, walks up to him and says, "A man never walks out of his own journey." And to me, I totally believe that, and I totally agree with that. Even Parker Jones talks about his success on how he became a famous TikToker, and to this day, I can bet you he supports his own lifestyle, no matter how bad his brain cancer has been, and no matter how many times he's probably dealt with drama between Toby Vega D and, Xander. Not really Xander, but like he parted ways when he, did the Moxie business, which is just automotive car cleaning. You do affiliate. He's like, praised people for doing TikTok Shop affiliate marketing. And I've even wanted to get into TikTok Shop and affiliate marketing on separate ends. It's just been very difficult because I didn't have the parameters of 10,000 followers and a good personal brand, because that is something that is useful when you're trying to build something that can become a business, especially when you're someone like Parker, who worked at it every single day. Even his life story, he packed his own lunch, which I couldn't do myself. But I'm telling you this example because it is not easy, but if you make it hard for yourself in the very beginning, you will develop the best character you can possibly have. And you don't have to be like Parker, or you don't have to be like these multi-billionaires that came from the ground up, or they became poor. It's well respected, but you don't have to force yourself to go through someone else's storyline just so you can prove yourself that you're tougher or you're better than someone else. Learn the skills from other people's mistakes and make it into your own character. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. Choose your own path. Don't walk out on it. I mean, even for most men, they would never expect that, women can do the same. I would think, in my opinion, my unsupported opinion, maybe it is, you don't have to use things to make you look better on the outside, like makeup and, all these beauty products just to hide all these secrets. Trust me, those secrets are going to come out whether you like it or not. And there's always going to be a light in the very bottom of your heart that says, keep your inner child happy. And yeah, those sacrifices are going to have to come sooner than later. But again, you still have to make yourself happy when you get into a business or skill or whatever you get into. David Goggins, Tristan and Andrew, you know who, from Romania. Those people have made a living for themselves. Justin Waller, um, Alex Becker, affiliate marketer who served the military. No, he did drop shipping, but I can assure you, any person that got into a business, all you have to do is just, or maybe look at this way. Look at what has been not considered the most popular subject in school, but it has made everybody rich. And you might say, well, you could do casinos, or you could do OnlyFans, or modeling, or you could show your body to the world and exploit yourself. But I promise you, when you do that, you end up destroying your own self-confidence. I would know it because I know a few people that would do that kind of thing. I was even asked by people around me that I didn't really respect or know that very well, and they asked me to do OnlyFans. I'm like, that's no. And at some point, you go through the age span of where, your emotions get out of regulation and you try to control them the wrong ways. Nicotine, alcohol, sex abuse, or no, maybe not abuse, not sex abuse, but sex addiction. Find ways to control your life, because the second you don't, and the second you don't develop the skills of what it means to value your body using food, or you don't value an electric bill all because you decide to change the direction on a fan, or you don't value the kind of things that are said to you by your own parents. Creating your own characterized skill is the best thing you can do. And if you learn how all of it works, like fully demand that your past be forgotten by things that help you forget your past, distract you from your past, or make your past look like child's play. You don't want to feel let down by your ancestors, but you don't want to let yourself down, because again, it's your own story, it's your own character. No matter the flaws that you do, not the flaws that you do, the flaws you have in your family or whatever you're able to manage, especially when it comes to marriage, when they're able to handle financial literacy correctly, family drama, and there was like 4 of them that Dave Ramsey had talked about. It was like family drama, my guess would be emotional trauma and physical trauma. You eat cheap using, real fruits and vegetables, but you spend good money on the doctor bills, and you spend good money on, like, for example, we're trying to sell our house and we need to fix the AC coils so we can have air conditioning in the winter when it's so cold outside. Like, and sometimes I'll even at work, I'll use skills from, commonly played sports, or, skills that I've learned in the past, and I've used it to develop the character that I've always wanted. And that's all I can tell you. If you want to get into any skill, hobby, whatever it is, education, and you have to remember there are people that are there for you, but not everybody is going to want to support you. Not everybody is going to be your enemy, and not everybody is going to want to let you have your story. So make your own story, and remember, it's a battle between you and yourself. That internalized anger, fear, emotion, It's you against you, and half the time, not all the time, it is not anyone else's business to know how you made your success. Tell your story, but make your story important for yourself. Yeah, you might lose some friends, and just like Imagine Dragons has said, or Avicii, um, you will most likely lose some of your friends while finding yourself. That's all. But other than that, thanks for listening for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to go eat breakfast because I'm hungry.